Today's mix and match system is a budget audiophile system that I can recommend highly to people who are just starting out, or maybe a college student in a dorm room, or just a great bedroom system. This is not a system that's going to fill a huge living room or something that's going to give you high dB levels. This is a system I'm going to compare it to. This is the Golden Ear Aeon. I purchased them for $500 each. They're now up to $625 each, I believe. And of course, I made my own speaker stands, just as good as something you buy. Anyway, you're going to need a receiver. That traditional system. So here is, I have an inexpensive Sony. I don't remember what I paid, maybe $300 at Costco, maybe $400 today, something similar. So that's what I'm comparing it to. Your traditional system, 2 speakers and a receiver, and of course you need some speaker wire. And with the receiver and speaker cables, once you set it up, you pretty much don't move it around. So I'm going to be comparing it to studio monitors that can be unplugged easily. So that is definitely an advantage if you want to move it from room to room. I'm estimating that this Aeon system, Golden Ear Aeon, is about, with the receiver, with the cables, about $1,500 to $1,600. And remember, that's without any kind of speaker stands. I set up my own DIY speaker stands here on a table, but if you want to do it properly, you need to buy a couple of decent stands. That's going to be at least another $100, I don't know, maybe $200. But what I want to emphasize is this traditional system that I have set up here does not have a subwoofer for that price. They sound excellent, great mid-range, beautiful high-end, but you're not going to have that low end of any kind of dedicated sub. So keep that in mind. That's what we're comparing. A $1,600 system to a studio monitor system with a sub. And the subwoofer is controllable, where you can control the gain. So here's the star of the show. Your speakers, left and right, JBL308, $250. So a pair of them for $500. They have excellent clarity. They go up above 100 dB. You don't want to push it too much above that. I believe the spec is like 113, but I would never push it to anywhere near that. But you can push it to about 100, maybe. It's not good for your hearing. They have an 8-inch woofer. I don't consider it great bass. That's why I'm adding a subwoofer to the system. But it does add some of that low mid bass, better than a 5-inch speaker. Covering the low end is a subwoofer I have reviewed in a past video. You might want to check it out. The Presonus 8, $180 on sale right now. It was $200 when I purchased it. This subwoofer is very, very impressive to its limit. You're not going to push this to 100 dB. It will bottom out. You're going to hear some ugly woofer noise, and eventually you'll damage the woofer. So if you have expectations for very loud music, this is not the subwoofer for you. You have to spend more money. But if you want to play, I'm thinking 90 dB and below, this really adds the low end that only a dedicated subwoofer can give you, that the Aeons, which are a much more expensive system, cannot produce. That's why I'm thinking this is a great mix and match system, very impressive. And by the way, excuse me, I had never done this before. This is the first time I matched it up. People might ask me, what is that stand that's holding up the tablet or the phone? It's called Stage Ninja. I believe I got it on Guitar Center a couple of years ago. I believe it's still available. And this is the mixer I'm using. The famous, that's been out for many, many years, small, tiny, but effective Yamaha MG06. $170 as we speak. Has some really nice clean sound. You need 2 XLR cables. Then you have one cable to connect to your phone or tablet, your source. You have 2 more inputs for guitar, microphone, karaoke, anything you want to do. This mixer is been out for a number of years. It's made of metal. It's very tough. For the price, you just can't beat it. But what I really enjoy is the fact that the sound is excellent. So what's unique about this system is there's no other AUX out to run a subwoofer with a bigger mixer. So I'm running the subwoofer from the phones out, and I'm controlling it from this level here. So that's really nice. I like having separate level control for my subwoofer. So let me show you the cable I'm talking about. So here is your TRS two phones, and let me show you the other side. Here's the other side. So you have TRS 1/4 inch to the phone jack, and then you have to go to double RCA that goes into the subwoofer. If you just went 1/4 inch to one RCA, you're not going to have the gain. When you plug in both RCAs, you get plus 6 dB gain, and you need it, especially for this little subwoofer. So this cable is inexpensive. I'll put the link. I believe I got it from Amazon, and I'll put the link down because I don't remember the exact price. I think it's about $20. The only downside to this particular cable is 10 feet is the maximum. But most people put their subwoofer very close to their mains, so it shouldn't be an issue. But again, this is a tweak that I don't think many people do. And it's very convenient because every mixer has a phones out, but there's very few mixers at this size, as a matter of fact, none, that have an AUX out that you can run a subwoofer off of. So this is a tweak that maybe I created, I don't know. So this is what it looks like all together on its speaker stands. You definitely want to move those speaker stands apart. I probably even have them a little too high. The tweeters should be at ear level on studio monitors. You should try to form an equilateral triangle. So I'm sitting back about 10 feet from the speakers, and that's how far apart the speakers should be. Subwoofer in the middle, or wherever it's not critical, but wherever you like it. It could be under a desk. That's what's wonderful about this small subwoofer. You can hide it. So I think this system is pretty compact, very light. Speakers, the subwoofer is under 20 pounds. I love it. I can carry it around on my shoulder, carry with almost one hand. Speakers are light, under 20 pounds. So again, comparing this to your traditional audiophile system, receiver, and 2 speakers and cables, I think you're getting quite a bit more performance and capability, because now you have that low end that's missing from the $600 each speaker. Your traditional speakers, like I'm showing you, my Golden Ear Aeon 3s, which I'm very happy with. That they're excellent speakers, but you need a subwoofer. Don't ask me what's under those mystery covers. That's for different videos in the future. And I think we're ready for our sound demo. People always ask for setup help. So here's the back of the subwoofer, Eris8. And I have my low pass at 80, which is a nice matchup with small studio monitors. Here is the double RCA that I mentioned into the input of the sub. And here is the gain, about 11 o'clock. I'm getting the volume I need from the mixer. If you push it up too much higher, maybe to 12 would be the maximum I'd push the sub. But again, I'm going to mention it. A warning, you will bottom out the sub if you push the gain up high and then try to get anywhere near 100 dB. So very simple setup. One cable into the subwoofer. Of course, you need a power cable, but I'll tell you right now, this sub could be run off an external battery pack. I was running it earlier off a 300-watt battery pack. If anybody's interested, I'll give you the link to that. Here we go with a quick sound demo. This is a non-copyrighted track that I have. Should be no problem for you two. Playing through a mixer at Unity, and I even took out my dB meter to show you what kind of volume you can get with clarity. If I turn it up much louder, you might lose some of that clarity. The subwoofer also, I'm going to turn it up to about 12 noon. That's about the limit. You go over that, you're going to start bottoming out the woofer. It's not a very high wattage unit, so you can't expect it to be doing 100 dB plus. Not for this price. Okay, so here we go. Sound demo. I forgot to mention, important, I'm going to start off with the subwoofer off. Here is my subwoofer control from the phones out. I'll show you the cable later, how to set this up. It's kind of a unique cable. I don't think a lot of people know about it, that you can run a subwoofer from the headphone out. So I'm going to start the track with the sub off, and then I'm going to crank it up to about 12 noon. And as I mentioned, that's about the max. I'm going to push it without any kind of bottoming out on the subwoofer. So here we go. So a little under 90 dB. It's a really nice volume. The speakers have perfect clarity. Subwoofer filling in that low end. Some people might not like that particular track, but it's very difficult to find good demo tracks with bass that are non-copyrighted. So 89.4 dB, it's pretty loud. Of course, the speakers can go quite a bit louder before distortion, but the sub, I wouldn't push it much more. You might want to, you don't want to start bottoming out, pushing that woofer and lowering its lifespan. So wrapping this up, budget audiophile system. Let's talk about price. JBL308s, $250 each, a pair, $500. The Presonus 8 subwoofer is on sale right now. I purchased it at $200, is now down to $170 on Sweetwater. You'll need a couple of XLR cables from that mixer. You'll need another cable to go to your phone or source. Cables, let's say $50, and speaker stands, if you're not going to set them up on a bookshelf, which I don't recommend, but speaker stands cost $50 for this pair, which is a pretty good deal. Altogether, under $1,000, actually quite a bit under, $770. Again, comparing it to my other audiophile speakers, the Golden Ear, that system cost, I think we said about $1,500 to $1,600. So that's quite a bit difference. Of course, studio monitors are movable. You can move them from room to room, much easier than a receiver and speaker cables. You also have the choice with the Yamaha little mixer. You can plug in a microphone or a guitar, do a little karaoke. So for under $1,000, this is a very high fidelity system in my opinion. You just can't push it to extreme volumes. So for a dorm room, small bedroom, this system really has fidelity, very comparable to much higher price systems. But if you want to go 100 dB and above, you got to look elsewhere. This is Bill. I hope you've enjoyed this audiophile budget system. Highly recommended. Some people might call this the cheap man system, whatever you want to call it. I think it sounds excellent. Later.